All right. The next thing that we talked about in yesterday's meeting was we talked about some of the useful features that you really do want to be aware of and try to start using to increase student engagement and decrease just the downtime of waiting for people to join at the beginning of a meeting, or if people are finished with a task and they're waiting for other students to finish. These are some suggestions of things that you might be able to use just to kind of keep people working and doing what you need them to do. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and join with a student test account in this meeting. You'll see that front and center here. And then my account's up here. When you have host controls, and remember, that's going to be when you have this shield down here. This is why the host controls are very important. Only the host is going to be able to control these activities. Activities are going to be located in the upper menu here, and sort of the triangle of shapes. When you click on that, you will see that you have the option to use breakout rooms, polls, and Q&A. Breakout rooms, hopefully you've messed around with. Breakout rooms, when you create your breakout rooms, you'll have to use this little pencil to edit them, and it will set up all of these breakout rooms according to how many students you have, and you can literally drag your students back and forth. And once you're ready, you can open the rooms. These are helpful for small group discussions. The students have the ability to raise their hands inside the room so that you are aware of what room you might need to go to yourself. You are also able to completely close that room, so you kind of force everybody back into your main room when you're done. Ahead of time, you can set a timer, so you don't really need to do any of that. It just happens automatically. So breakout rooms are great. If you haven't tried them yet, please give them a try. One of the lesser used things, according to a polling question that I gave yesterday, is the polls within Google Meet. When you start a Google Meet, you can automatically launch, again, in little triangle shapes here. You can automatically set up a couple polls. So if you want to ask sort of an entrance question, or if you know that there are a few questions that you're going to want to have asked throughout the Meet session, you can do those at the very beginning. And what you'll do is you'll start a poll, ask any question. Have you used poll questions with your classmates? And simply just put your options in, yes or no. And then you can launch it directly now, or you can save it for later. I like to try to set up a few at the beginning of my meet, save them for later, and then launch them as the discussion's going on. If you were to launch it immediately, you can also turn on the ability for everybody to see the results. And as they answer, you're going to see this. And I'll go over to my student test account, and I'll answer that question for the polls. Have you used poll questions with Google Meet? And I'll say yes. And automatically, once I vote, now we've got that vote coming through. It's really great data to kind of launch your student discussions. It's also something that just gets them thinking and moving. I mean, it doesn't even have to always be about your class. It could be, about their favorite color. It's just getting them to engage in what you're doing. So definitely use the polls if you have not. Question and answer. When you turn on Q&A, this is a place where you now are allowing students not just to raise their hand with this new feature so that you have to address that question right away. What you're doing is you're giving students a place where they can ask a question. And what that will do is it posts it in the Q&A so that you're aware of not only that somebody has a question, you're aware of what the question is, and you can continue teaching your class, and you can address the question when you're able to get to it. It also allows, have you used Q&A before? Once you post it, students can upvote the question. So if you have someone post a question and you're not necessarily getting to it right away because you're in the middle, and all of a sudden you see that 15 students have clicked this, upvote here, you know that a lot of people right now, they're not listening to a word you're saying because they have the same question this person does, and it might be a good idea to stop. Um, so it's a nice feature in addition to the hand raise because it's a little bit more specific and it allows you to decide whether you're going to keep the flow of your instruction going or whether you're going to stop and answer that very specific question. If you haven't used Q&A, definitely work it out or definitely try it out. The other nice thing about polls and Q&A, you're going to get in your email with your attendance report for your Google Meet, you're going to get the answers to the polls with the names of the students who answered. So you can actually use that as data. You could use it as, honestly, you could use it as participation grades. You could use it as anything you wanted. And Q&A, you'll also get an additional report. So if you used both of them, you'll get an email that actually has 3 reports: an attendance report, a poll report, and then a question and answer report.